All right. So I'm Kyle,
And I'm Kyle.
and this is K squared. All right. So, first topic that we're going to talk about tonight is going to be what is something that you would like to do, or sorry, something that you're afraid of, but that you would also still like to do, if that makes any sense, because that's a horrible way of reading that question.
Well, you go ahead and start this one. I've got to think a little bit.
So, something that I'm afraid of, but still would like to do, would definitely be skydiving. I think that would be extremely fun. Obviously, it's only like a few seconds or whatever, but it's also still terrifying. It's like, man, what if they didn't pack the chute properly? And I mean, I guess that wouldn't be the worst way to go, because I feel like it'd be over pretty
That would
quick.
absolutely be the worst way to go. You're just plummeting to your death and you know
There could
what's
be worse
coming.
ways, though. You could like die in a fire or drowned or something.
I
Like
guess
with
so. I
the
guess when you hit the ground,
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
over at that point. But the only other thing too is like if you go and look at Google reviews of any skydiving place, it's like the people who would write a bad review probably aren't around to write a bad review.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. They aren't going to be there. Maybe their family members are the one that writes the bad
Yeah, but
review.
it'd have to be a family member of the one that writes the bad
That's what
review.
it
Yeah,
was
to get super
in
morbid.
their obituary. That was their 0 out of 5 star rating.
Yeah, exactly. Could not do again.
Could not and will not do again.
Yeah. Oh man.
No, I would never skydive. I'm way too big of a scaredy cat. I ain't even gonna lie.
I think it'd be so much fun. But I feel like there's a lot of things that I would be like, oh man, that would be kind of cool. Do you have one yet, or do you want me to give you another one?
I think I've got one, and it's kind of a dumb one, but I'm gonna
No
say it
dumb
anyway.
answers here.
Oh, there's absolutely
It's
dumb
all dumb
answers.
answers.
That's all I ever give is dumb answers. Something that I would like to, that I'm afraid to do, that I would still like to do, is to really move far away from home, somewhere like
Uh,
Montana, Hawaii, California. I don't really want to go to California. Never mind.
I would
Maybe like
wouldn't want to live there.
Colorado.
There you go. That'd be fun.
Somewhere like that, like legit away from home and live there for a good little while. Now, I'll probably eventually come back home just because blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots. I love the South. you know, I can't be out here just going around in I would never go up north. I'll tell you that much. I don't think I'd get along with
Well,
those
you
folks up there.
also hate the cold. Like in East Tennessee, you were wearing like these super thick jackets every day. And it's
Okay.
like, man, it's so much colder farther north.
Well, yeah. So maybe not Montana. Maybe I'd be a seasonal traveler for
Yeah.
Montana, only in the warm months.
Well, I mean, I feel like this is a pretty big move for you. You're what, 5.5 hours now? Because I mean, that was a
Something
big
like
move I
that.
had from family as well.
Yeah, so it's been the furthest from home I've lived in ever.
I
So,
think it's a little bit of a blessing and a curse because I don't know. So obviously I'm closer to family now than you are. Um, so it's great because you have always have family to go hang out with, but it's also not great because they're always wanting to do something with you.
hmm.
Like, ah, man, like you feel bad because you don't want to like turn them down and be like, oh, well, I'd rather go like hang out with friends or, just have some alone time.
Well, the good thing for you is you don't have any friends up there.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Pretty much. Not a
Truth hurts. The truth hurts.
for sure.
This is why we do this.
Oh, Jesus, brutal, man. But yeah, so it was awesome being like up there in East Tennessee because then it's like, oh, cool. You go home for the holidays and stuff like that, but you're kind of
Hmm.
far away to really be invited just to go for like a weekend. It's more of a week trip and then, hang out with your friends and stuff like that too. So
Right. Yeah, that's probably going to be the hard thing, especially like going back for this wedding. But like Logan and Rachel's wedding, like specifically, because like I want to spend time with you all,
yeah,
but I'm also back home, and now my family's going to be like, "Hey, Kyle, we want to
exactly.
come hang out with you," and I'm like, "Well, there's
Yeah,
like it goes
that'd be
both ways,
so difficult.
right?" So it's like I almost have to take like an extra day or something to, which technically I would have an extra day because you got to love them nice little federal holidays that they give you.
Is there a
Columbus Day. Yeah, Columbus
is it?
Day. Yeah, it'll be the Monday following their wedding.
Well, that's pretty nice. Well, I mean, I'm off, dude. If we can convince Brandon to take some vacay, we can spend an extra day.
I know we need to convince Brandon to get some vacation time for the 9th, I do
Only
believe, is
one
when
day.
Columbus Day is. Yeah, it's only one day.
Some of us actually work.
Oh, he says some of us actually work. Bah humbug.
I work too. It's just longer hours.
That's right. That's right.
Oh man.
But yeah, so that's something that I would say is moving away from home, like an actual big move where you can't just drive home in a few hours, like to have a big move. Now I wouldn't stay there forever, but that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
You don't, yeah. So nothing like adrenaline junkie wise. Like you don't want to swim with sharks or
No, I like my feet planted firmly on the ground. I don't like doing all this crazy stuff that these other people like doing. Um, no, I'm good. I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I am a big old scaredy cat, and that's true.
I mean, that's for some people that's a big one, dude. All right, so we will go on to the next one then. And that is what are the like foundational or like, let's do this top five childhood cartoons. So 5 cartoons that you watched growing up that you feel are like, I don't know, foundational to who you are, I guess. I feel like that's getting too deep.
Oh,
Just 5 cartoons that you liked growing up.
okay. 5 cartoons. Well, number one always will have to be SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, there you go.
If it's not SpongeBob, like I quote it every day, all the time. I'm
Yeah.
quoting something about SpongeBob. It's like always been like this sounds weird, but like an influential cartoon that like it's always in my mind of some quote.
I feel like SpongeBob for me is also like a litmus test. It's like, okay, if you like it, then we're cool and you have
Right.
humor. If you don't like it or you don't think it's funny, then it's like, all right, well, you probably have a poor sense of humor then.
Guess who doesn't like it?
Who?
Brandon.
Oh no.
Yeah. What a trash person. So yeah, SpongeBob I would definitely say is my number one.
Cool.
Um, I'm trying to think of a few more that I watched a lot of. I want to say that I watched a lot of Ed, Ed and Eddie growing up. Which it's a different one. There's a lot of innuendos looking back, which that was the same with SpongeBob.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of little innuendos in there. I also liked Barnyard. Does that one sound familiar?
I don't know that one.
No, that's the one
Mm.
like with the cows and
There were some cows in there because there's barnyard.
well, it's like one of the things that there's this woman who's like thinks that these cows are after her, which I mean they're like humanized cows, and
Yeah.
they're like, Harold, there's cows outside, and he looks at her and says, it's a cow farm. There's gonna be cows outside. So, that one they turned it into a TV show, and it was pretty good.
Okay.
So there's the third one. Oh, Tom and Jerry is a classic.
Man. Okay.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry. Watch that all the time at my granny's house after school. So
Awesome.
definitely some Tom and Jerry. And then I'd probably say oh now I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm gonna hold on my fifth one and let you go for a little bit.
Okay, that works. All right, so just to review, SpongeBob was yours. You did Tom and Jerry, you did Barnyard, and then what was the fourth one?
Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Okay, gotcha. All right.
I would say Courage the Cowardly Dog, but that was just a sketchy one that I wasn't too big of a fan of.
Okay. Cool. Man, I forgot about Courage. All right, so I would also say Tom and Jerry, which is funny that you were like, yeah, I used to go to your grandmother's house and watch it all the time. Like my grandfather still watches Tom and Jerry to this day.
Nice.
And like I just think that's so cool. But yeah, I remember going over to my grandfather's house and watching Tom and Jerry and just like rolling. That like slapstick humor was great. And it's just just funny that we share that in common. I also like SpongeBob, obviously. I feel like that was one of those ones that came on a little bit later for me, but I still really enjoyed it. And then I also liked Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh yeah, I
thought
forgot
was
about that one.
hilarious. The Simpsons was a huge one for me as well. See, like that was one of those shows that I probably wasn't supposed to watch, but I watched it as a kid and I just thought it was really funny for me.
Right.
And man, there's so many. There are a bunch of other good ones too. I'm trying to think. Ooh, man, I've got to go with Batman.
Batman.
Original like cartoon Batman, because I watched that all the time. Because I don't think it was part of. Do you remember Toonami at all on Cartoon Network?
That sounds real familiar.
Because I feel like they played it as part of that, but I'm not necessarily sure. By the way, I just got a text message from Brendan saying like, none of you guys are gonna say Scooby Doo.
That's what I was honestly thinking just a second ago. I was like, oh, I
Okay.
know my fifth
Well,
one.
you
As
still
soon as
got
you
a
said
spot open.
Batman,
I personally, I didn't really like Scooby Doo a bunch.
oh, I love
Because
Scooby
I
Doo.
didn't like the fact that they brought in Scrappy Doo. I just like,
Oh well,
but I liked it some, but it just wasn't in my top 5. I feel like Scooby Doo always came on when I wanted to be watching a different cartoon, if that makes any sense.
oh yeah.
They would
So
play
you
it on.
chose something else over it.
Yeah, exactly. So like my show, like perfect examples, like I'd be watching, I don't know, like Dragon Ball Z or something like that, which is another good one. You don't like Dragon Ball Z? Oh
No,
man,
you know I don't like that anime stuff
I like that one.
or whatever it
I'd be
is.
watching that, and then it'd go off, and instead of another episode of Dragon Ball Z, this is back in the day when you couldn't just like, put on a show and keep binge watching it.
Right.
Scooby Doo would come on, like, no, I want to keep watching Batman or keep watching whatever, and Scooby Doo's on instead.
You remember like the crossovers that happened with Scooby Doo though?
I
Like,
do.
I'm pretty sure Batman was in one of them.
I feel like Scooby Doo they put in everything.
Right.
I
And
mean,
that's
how
why
long
it's
is
so
Scooby-Doo
great.
run?
I have no idea. Years, I'd say.
I
Hank,
feel
you want to
like
know?
watch that too.
I'm gonna have to look it up so I can tell you right now.
This is where we
Let's
need
see.
one of those like filler or whatever, be able to like pull something up in the background. I guess we could do that at some point, but we're figuring it out as we go for the show.
Thanks for waiting. Hold please.
Hold please.
Or let's see here. Pull up the old Wikipedia
I'm gonna say in the
that
60s.
launched in 1996 and apparently is still running.
Wait, say it again. When did it start?
1969. Sorry,
Okay.
1969. Sorry, a little dyslexia getting me.
What?
Nope, 69, not 96. I'm dyslexic.
Yeah. Okay. So 60s. Makes
So,
sense.
and apparently still making
Yeah. It doesn't
TV
surprise
show,
me.
which I mean, it's changed. Like
Yeah.
SpongeBob has changed, and it's not as good as it once was, but I guess it's as good once as it ever was.
I don't know.
I'm
about
almost positive I said that in the last video too. So
probably, but that's okay. I don't know. I disagree with that a little bit. After like the original character of it, or not character, creator of SpongeBob, like passed away, I was like, I don't really want to keep watching it because somebody else is gonna like take it off the rails. But yeah, it makes sense that Scooby Doo was back in the 60s because like Fred was wearing an ascot, and it's like, who has that?
I just remember in all like the live action movies, these girls would walk up to me and be like, "Nice ascot," and I was like, "They said a bad word. They said a bad word." I don't know what that means, but they said nice ascot, and I was like,
Well,
"Ooh."
going off the rails for a little bit, or going taking a sidetrack here. I was at my brother's house the other day, and like spending time with my niece and everything,
Mhm.
and like some of the cartoons that they have now are super weird. There's a potty training one that she was watching, and it's literally just a bunch of sharks eating something and then pooping out what they ate. And I guess it's
Into a
supposed to
toilet.
potty training. I have no idea why, but like it was like going over like the different colors of poop. I was like, what is this? And why in the world are like, is there any scientific backing behind? Like, I would laugh at that as a child. I'd be like,
Right.
they called this poop, brown.
That's the thing. I don't know because I mean, obviously, well, at least I think I use the bathroom right. Ain't nobody told me any differently. So, I learned just fine back in the day without watching sharks poop on the TV.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
maybe it's
missing
one of
this
those things
conversation.
where maybe it's one of those things where it's like the book Everybody Poops. So it's like trying to make kids more comfortable with going to the bathroom. I don't know.
I
Or
guess
going
so. I
watching
guess the
some
more
movies,
you're exposed to it, the more you're comfortable with it.
maybe. I don't know. It
Not
just
that
was
I'm
very
not.
interesting to me. I was like, what in the world are you watching?
Yeah, I don't know. They do have some real weird, which I'm sure that's what my nana said all the time when I was coming up. She's like, "Why y'all watching this stupid SpongeBob?"
Yeah. I feel
And
like
so,
my dad's that way with Dexter's Laboratory or like the Powerpuff Girls or
Dee Dee,
yeah.
what are you doing in my laboratory?
I think the one that I remember the most from that series is the Omelette du Fromage episode.
I don't know if I remember that one. But
He like has this whole disc or not disc, wow. He has like a recorder that he plays and you're supposed to listen to it, and if you listen to it through the night, it makes you learn French. So he like
oh,
turns it on and goes to sleep, but the record starts skipping and keeps saying the same phrase over and over and over again. So when he wakes up, he's speaking French, but the only French phrase that he can say is omelette du fromage, which is cheese.
oh,
So
yeah. I
yeah.
was gonna say I don't know what that means. The only French words I know is "Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?"
They swap.
C'est soir. That's all I know. Oui.
Oh yeah, there you go. Isn't that your favorite French, or isn't that your favorite language, French?
French? No, I didn't say it was my favorite language. I know you hate the French language.
I don't hate it. I just feel like it's a lot of the times it sounds like people have peanut butter in their mouth when they're talking. But this is also, somebody from the, South. I'm sure they would say something similar to me about that.
They're
But
probably like, at least we got our teeth though. We ain't kissing our sisters.
oh gosh, man. Whew. All right.
But
Well, I think that's pretty much it. Do you want to do the wrap up or do you want me to do it?
you go for it. You wrap it all up.
All right, cool. All right, so that's it for today. So if you guys have any comments or any other topics you guys would like us to talk to, please comment below and feel free to subscribe. All right, we'll see you.